It's cold out. Hi guys, it's McKenna, and today I just wanted to cozy up and talk about my January reads. So this month I read 11 books, and that broke down to 1 novella, 2 graphic novels, and 8 novels. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with my reading month, even though I only had 2 actually 5-star reads. I really did enjoy everything that I read pretty much. And I just wanted to talk about it. So the first book that I read in 2019 is The Lost Sisters by Holly Black. I read this one day when I went home sick, and it was about a week before The Wicked King release, and I was like, you know, why didn't I listen to this on audiobook through Scribd, because it was about an hour long, and I didn't give it a rating. It did kind of feel like it was needed for The Wicked King, although it never really came into play during The Wicked King. I don't know, it just... I read it. I don't have any real opinions about it. I just kind of read it, and it was something that I thought was very, it wasn't needed, but it added to the story a little bit. But the first book that I read in 2019 is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabatir, and I actually have a reading vlog up for this, which was a lot of fun, so if you want to watch that, I will link it down below. But I really enjoyed An Ember in the Ashes. My only real complaint was something that happens a lot in YA that I really don't like, that I actually hate, that I really need to talk about. But it's when authors take this strong female, adult woman character and give her high school level drama jealousy to drive the plot along. And I'm so tired of it. But An Ember in the Ashes is basically about this girl who loses her entire family, and in an attempt to get them back, she has to become a slave for the commandant of the famous, Black Cliff soldier camp. While there, she meets Elias, who had previously attempted to, well, not attempted, but he was planning on deserting, and he just wants to be free, and they both kind of want to be free, and it's just about how they seek to be free, and about Leia getting her brother back because he was taken from her, and about Elias getting free. And like I said, I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. The next 4 books I read this month are actually part of a series, and that is the A Circuit series by Georgia Bloomberg and Catherine Hapka. The A Circuit, My Favorite Mistake, Off Course, and Rein It In. So overall, this was kind of a trashy series. I gave each one 3 out of 5 stars. But I finished the entire series in a weekend. It took me a day to finish each one of them. It was just a nice ooh, quick read. Like I said, it was trashy, but it was good, and I'm really glad that I read it, just because previously I have read the first 3 books and then never been able to find the 4th book. And I think it might have been 1 or 2 years ago I did find the 4th book, and then I haven't read it, and I'm like, I'd have to reread the entire series. So I did get to reread the entire series, and it was a lot of fun. If it wasn't my favorite series in the world, it was a lot of fun. This book, the first book in the A Circuit series, is about these 2 girls that are at this Pelham Lane writing academy, and one of them is a working student and the other one is a billionaire heiress, and they're kind of both doing great. They're doing their thing at Pelham Lane, and then the wild child of a famous rock star comes and joins Pelham Lane, and it just, oof. Things go down, and they don't really like her at first, and she does a bunch of things that none of them agree with. And it's a fun series. So if you're in the mood for a fun series, it has to do a lot with horses, which I obviously love, but if you want just a fun series, I do recommend it. The next book I read this month is The Wicked King by Holly Black. There's not a lot that I can say about this book that wouldn't spoil book 1, The Cruel Prince, but The Cruel Prince is about a girl that gets taken from her home in the mortal world and brought into fairy, and she wants to become a knight for the king, and this continues the story. I am planning on filming a review for this book, so if you want to see that, it probably won't be out by the time I post this, but I do have a reading vlog out for it, which I will link down below. I give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars, just like I gave the first one. I really don't like the main character, and I think she's really stupid, and I think that's my main pitfall when it comes to this series, is I think she acts like she's really smart, and because she pats herself on the back too much, she forgets that other people are clever too. So that's why I really didn't like, well, I didn't really not like this book. That's why this book didn't get 5 stars, because I don't like the main character, and it's all in her point of view, and I'm just like, I do think during at least 2 of my time lapses during my reading vlogs, I rolled my eyes while reading. And I don't know if you can see it, but I know I did. The next book I read in the month of January is Dry by Neil and Jared Schusterman. I actually read this book for a video that I filmed yesterday that I don't know which one of these will be up first, but if it is up first, I will link it down below. But basically it is about this girl who lives in California, and Southern California, I believe it is going through a tap out in which all of the water sources are cut off, and they're basically put in this chaotic state where everyone is trying to get a hold of water, and she has to enlist the help of a couple other people to help them all survive. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I thought that the characters were not very original. There's like the blonde girl next door, maternal instinct girl, the creepy guy next door, you know, those type of characters that you see a lot, and you know, there wasn't a whole lot to the plot. I think the thing I liked the most is something that I really like in books, and I'll see if I can find one, but they're called they're snapshots. There's one, I believe, or the end of one. You can't see it, but it's a snapshot, and basically what it is it's outside of the characters' point of views. They have like outside stories, and that's something that I found that I really like in books, because they do it in They Both Die at the End, and they do it in This One Is Also a Star, and I do really like it, so I did really like that about this book. The next book I read in the month of January is Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganushu. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But this is a graphic novel about this boy named Ari who is working in his family's bakery, but he wants more out of his life. He wants to go live somewhere else with his bandmates, he's in a band, and become like rock stars or something. And so in order to get his dad to sign off on him leaving and moving away, he finds help for the bakery. Little does he know that he's going to end up really liking the guy that he hires to work at his family's bakery, and might want to stay at the bakery. I think on my Goodreads review I said that this is like a Troye Sivan song in graphic novel form, and I do stand by that. It did make me cry in such a good way, and it might make me cry again thinking about it, but it was so good. And it's about boys baking, and after Check Please, I don't think I wouldn't like that kind of thing, but like, oh, it was so good. I highly recommend it. I was sent an ARC. I think I won a Goodreads review, or not a Goodreads review. I think I won a Goodreads giveaway though, and that's why I got it. Fun story. I thought someone was stalking me and stealing my email and buying things with my email, because I kept getting emails about UPS deliveries, and I'm like, I didn't order anything, and then this came, and I was so happy about it, so I am glad that I got it. The next book that I read in the month of January is a library book that I can't pronounce the author's name, but I'm going to try, and it is Persephone by Loak Loeti Corn Whiskey. I'm sorry. I've taken French for 4 years, but I still don't know how to pronounce French sometimes, and this is one of those times. It is a French graphic novel, and it was translated, and it is a French author. I gave this 2 stars. I really didn't like it. I feel like I would have liked it if it hadn't been marketed as a Persephone retelling, but if you don't know this about me, Persephone is my favorite goddess in Greek mythology. You know, Hades is my fave. I love him. He's a soft boy, and no one understands that, especially not this graphic novel, because I hate it when people make Hades out to be the bad guy. Like, if you've watched Disney's Hercules, I do like that movie, but I don't like that they make Hades the bad guy, because Hades isn't the bad guy. Anyway, like I said, I feel like if this wasn't marketed as a Persephone retelling, it would be great, but it was marketed as a Persephone retelling, and it wasn't. It wasn't really at all a Persephone retelling, and it made me so disappointed. I did say in my Goodreads review that they were real loosey-goosey with the term Persephone, or that it was a Persephone retelling. I do stand by that. If you put aside the fact that it's not a Persephone retelling, you might enjoy this, but if you're looking for a good Persephone retelling, I don't recommend this one. And the final book I read in January is Not a Drop to Drink by Mindy McGinnis. I actually met Mindy McGinnis back in 2016, and I got 3 books signed. This is one of them that I got signed. I don't know if you can see it, but it says McKenna No Regrets, Mindy McGinnis, aka Little House on the Prairie on Crack. That was her, like, buzz name for this book. She talked about that when she talked. But, like I said, I got this in 2016. I have not read it since then. I haven't read any of the books I got that day. They're sitting right there behind me, but, you know, it's fine. But like I said, I also read this one for a video. After I tell you the synopsis, you can probably guess what the video is, but, you know, I've already read both of these books and have it filmed, so. Anyway, this book is about Lynn, and at the beginning, her mother, and they are trying to survive in this rural Ohio place that their pond is their only source of water. Everyone living around them in this rural area, almost everyone living around them in this rural area wants their house because there's a pond right in front, and obviously the house that they can live on, and it's just a good spot for people to live in this like post-apocalyptic world in which there's no water. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy my time reading it, however I don't think it was my favorite book. I also don't think this would be my first choice to read by Mindy McGinnis, however it was my first book that I read by Mindy McGinnis. So those are the 11 books that I read in January. Like I said, I think I had a pretty good reading month. Let me know what you read in January, and if you read any of these books, if you enjoyed these books, if you previously read these books, or if you want to read any of these books. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you sometime for a new one. Bye!